Good afternoon, everyone. Oh my gosh, really? You didn't even eat yet. It's like, oh, good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm Naima Watson. I'm the Associate Chancellor for Civic Engagement here at Rutgers Camden, and I'll be your MC for today. I am also a proud graduate of Woodrow Wilson High School, class of 1995. So I'm always happy to be in this space. Thank you for clapping that up. I feel so old, but I'm always happy to be in the space of the students and the families of the Camden City Public Schools, and I thank you and I thank them for extending the honor to me today to be here. So on behalf of Superintendent Rashan Prailow, we're here today to celebrate some amazing young people we have in the audience who have overcome challenges and adversities and changed how they saw life to recommit to their own education. But first, let me begin with some thank yous for people in the audience who've made this event possible for us today. I'd like to thank our Rotary Club of Camden. You will hear more from their president, Marilyn Reynolds. Thank you to the Rotary Club. Thank you to the Camden City School District, our own Rutgers Hill Family Center for College Access, made in Camden, and also Minister Muhammad, who I think is here today, who's a part of the advisory board. I want to send a special thank you to Camden High and Woodrow Wilson dropout prevention officers and the culture deans for mentoring these young people and helping them get to the point where they are today. Thank you to the community leaders and the mentors in the room. A lot of this work is possible because of the work that you've put in to these young people also, but the biggest thanks goes to the young people who are here themselves and their families. So let's give all of them a round of applause. And before I turn it over to Pastor Cook, who's going to come up and bless the food for us before we begin, I just want the young people in the audience to remember two things today. Hopefully you remember it today. Hopefully you'll remember it at least the rest of the school year, but these are two things that I think about constantly. The first is, no matter who you are, what you did, and where you've come from, you can always change to become a better version of yourself. So that's the first. And secondly, you cannot change everything around you, but you can create a better world within yourself. And so take those two things with you. And I think by the fact that you're here today, you've already started to embody some of these things. So now I'd like to call to the stage Pastor Gwendolyn Ann Cook to bless the meal. Pastor Cook is the founder and president of WWITS, a female youth at-risk mentoring program. She works with teenage females in alternative school environments and those who are incarcerated at the Hayes Secure Care Facility for Female Youth. WWITS provides individual mentoring with hopes of helping incarcerated youth prepare for their re-entry back into their communities. And after we have Pastor Cook bless the food, we'll be able to begin to go up to the buffet. Started with our program. First, I'll let the band know that they should get up and grab something to eat while we're going ahead with our ceremony. But first off, I want to introduce Alon Drennan, who is the Camden City School District Office of Student Support Services. Alon is a former Camden teacher, trained lawyer, and current head of the School District Support Services work. Alon helps children and families who've been victims of bullying and is leading the charge to change the culture in our Camden City schools. She is helping to end punitive discipline policies and training teachers and principals on strategies for restorative justice. A Camden native herself, Alon's passion for her city shines through in these tireless efforts to support Camden City youth. So thank you, Alon.
Good afternoon. And happy 100 days of school. Thank you to the Camden City Rotary Club for hosting this event, for the work of all the district staff to support the event, and for Rutgers for the warm welcome. Deputy Superintendent McCombs and Superintendent Ruhanafard regretfully were unable to attend today because of a commitment rescheduled from our snow day last week. I'm excited to join you here today for a number of reasons, 22 of which are sitting in the room today. In order to be part of today, each student had to be nominated by an adult at their school. School principals, dropout prevention officers, and deans of climate and culture submitted stories about how each of you has pushed obstacles out of the way to make it to school, to improve, and to set your sights on graduation. Each of the stories were different. Each success and growth was different, but something rang true in each of them. Just how deeply proud of you the adults in your life are. You inspire us to do better, not just for you, but with you. Which is why we're setting up and pushing toward finding new ways that we can offer support. Not just giving consequences for the sake of consequences, but making sure we're repairing relationships. Really listening to what you're telling us and adapting to go forward. And if ever things become too heavy, working to find ways to help carry the load. Our attendance team and others are knocking on doors. Deans and DPOs have made every effort to connect students with what they need, and whole communities have committed and recommitted to doing what's necessary so that you never need to question that we are invested in you succeeding. So it takes a great amount of courage, as I just spoke with my colleague about, to come and be celebrated in this way. But today we are here to celebrate you. We are here to celebrate what it took for you to get here and to look forward with a great deal of excitement on what it's going to take to get to the finish line. Thank you for being here. I'm now going to welcome Dr. Watson back up.
Thank you so much. Next, I will introduce the president of the Rotary Club, Ms. Mary Lynn Reynolds. Mary Lynn is the president of the Rotary Club of Camden and a longtime public servant. Through her annual dictionary giveaway for the last 2 decades, Mary Lynn has led the Rotary's efforts to improve literacy in the city and help all Camden kids develop a love of learning. Let's have a round of applause for Ms. Mary Lynn Reynolds.
Well, good afternoon, and happy 100th day of school. I'm Mary Lynn Reynolds, the president of the Rotary Club of Camden. The Rotary Club of Camden has been serving the city of Camden since 1912. So we've been here 105 years, and we are committed to working with families, children, and youth in this city so that they reach their fullest potential. Rotary International is a service club around the world, and our motto is service above self. So we are in it to help our community and those around us. Well, today kind of reminds me of penguins in the South Pole. You might think that's kind of a strange analogy, but penguins, when it's really cold outside, take turns standing in the center of the huddle. And so those on the outside keep those on the inside warm. Well, today we're all a group of penguins on this very cold day, and we're bringing our students into the center of the huddle because we want you to know that you are supported, you are celebrated, and you are appreciated. I want you to know who the penguins are surrounding you. So you have the leadership of the Camden City School District. You have elected officials like Freeholder Rodriguez here. You have the Camden Rotary, as well as Rotarians from throughout the district. You have people like Neil and Candy Curry, who have put special candy treats in your Rutgers bag today. You have Cathedral Kitchen, who provided this terrific lunch. You have your fellow students who provided the wonderful music. And the Camden Rotary today, in addition to giving you lunch, we have a special gift card for each of you. So we want you to know that we think you are really remarkable young people. Oh, I forgot another penguin in the group, and that is Rutgers University. And to allow us to be here in this beautiful facility and Dr. Watson to be working with us. And I understand Rutgers is going to do some follow-up conversations with each of the students and talking about, some opportunities that Rutgers might have for your future. So we are just thrilled to be part of this community. And congratulations to each of you. We're really proud of you. And let's hope the second half of the school year continues on the roll. So thank you again. Enjoy lunch.
Okay, so now I have the honor and pleasure to introduce our keynote speaker today, and I'm very excited to hear from him. He's an amazing young man, Mr. Rashan Prailow. He is a former White House associate during President Obama's administration and a graduate of Woodrow Wilson High School and the University of Pennsylvania. Since leaving Camden to pursue a career in financial administration, Rashan has remained in touch with his community, speaking with students about the importance of education and vision setting. Dedicated to continuing his career in business development and community organizing, Rashan currently lives in Washington, D.C., where he is planning his next move and working closely with former President Obama's mentoring program, My Brother's Keeper. Let's welcome to the stage Rashan Prailow.
Good afternoon. It feels good to be home. First, I would like to thank the Camden City School District, Rutgers University, the Rotary Club, and Maita Sukup for inviting me to serve as keynote for the Back on Track Student Luncheon. Oh, there we go. And I also would like to acknowledge the community organizations that are present, and most importantly, the parents, for helping raise our future leaders. I understand firsthand the process of getting back on track. Not long ago, I was in the same position as most of you. Throughout my time at Woodrow Wilson High School, I didn't value my education. And most of the time, I didn't go to school. My senior year, I had 63 unexcused absences, coupled with a 1.1 GPA on my transcript. I was not supposed to graduate. But the faculty and staff at Woodrow Wilson High School took a chance on me by believing that I could get back on track. And to my credit, I tried to prove them right. A year after graduating from Woodrow Wilson High School, I registered for Camden County College. I didn't have a plan and didn't really know what I wanted to do. That experience didn't last long. Typically, when you plan to fail, or when you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So I reverted back to my old habits while I was at Camden County College. Missing classes, and when I did show up, I wasn't really focused. I dropped out. That was the easy thing to do. 6 months after dropping out of Camden County College, I was incarcerated at the Camden County Jail for 5 felony offenses. Now, if I stop the story here, it would be hard for any of you to imagine that this same individual will go on to graduate from an Ivy League college at the University of Pennsylvania and work at the White House under the first Black president. I couldn't imagine that. I had to learn something throughout my journey and on this process, that failure is not permanent, and no one is exempt from failure. For example, how many people in here know who Bobby Rush is? And if you do know who Bobby Rush is, do you often think of him when you think of Barack Obama? Probably not. But at one point in time, in the year 2000, Bobby Rush defeated Barack Obama in Illinois race for congressman. Fast forward 8 years later, Barack Obama was elected as the first black president of the United States of America. We all know the story about Michael Jordan getting cut from his high school basketball team and going on to become the best player in the world. Or how Steve Jobs was fired from Apple to only come back and transform the company as we know it today. As I'm quite sure most of you have an iPhone in your hand right now. And I learned that winners don't allow failure to dictate their future or define them. So I made a decision. After I was released from Camden County Jail in February 2009, I decided that I was going to think and believe like a success. And as my mindset changed, I began to become confident in myself, and I registered for Camden County College for a second time. I had a renewed focus. And my new train of thought made me behave like a successful person. I developed a stronger relationship with God. I studied longer. I joined study groups. I sought mentorship, and I asked for help. And throughout this time, I began to develop positive habits. Habits of being on time, being respectful, and valuing myself and valuing my education. Now, when I was at Camden County College, I still didn't believe the things that were going to take place in my life. No one could have predicted that. Most of my Camden County peers were dropping out of college and doing the same things I did when I first registered. You see, I want you to know and understand how important it is to watch your thoughts. Your thoughts have power. It is true that where the mind goes, the body will follow. So I urge you to practice positive thinking consistently. And on your journey, it's going to get difficult. As you all sit here today in your new roles of leadership, I want you to understand that you have to make a responsibility and an affirmation to take control and take responsibility for the person you are today. You are no longer the person you was last week. I read some of your bios about getting in trouble at school, not showing up, on the verge of dropout. That's not who you are anymore. I understand the environment that we grow up in. It exposes us to crime and poverty and afflicts us with physical, emotional, spiritual, and psychological trauma. All of our struggles are different, but I understand them very well. But this environment doesn't have to dictate how far you go in life. Now, never forget where you come from. Never forget where you come from. Always come back and always give back. But understand that this is not the end for you. And on your journey, you will be around people who don't think like you, who don't look like you, and who might not understand the childhood that you had to endure. And in these uncomfortable situations, it will become easier for you to revert back to your old habits in an attempt to find a comfort zone. But you owe it to the new you that you are today to remain curious and continue to grow. True growth can only be achieved if you are constantly outside of your comfort zone. So make a commitment today to accept who you are right now. You're going to lose friends, and some people may not acknowledge that you truly have changed. Don't allow other people's opinions become your reality. Don't allow other people's limited beliefs to limit yours. If I had done that, I probably would have graduated from Camden County College and stopped there. But I kept believing that something was bigger out there, and I kept chasing it. And I was rewarded with the opportunity of a lifetime. And I didn't do it just for me. I thought about my family, my friends, and my community. I thought about coming back in front of crowds of youth and giving my testimony to inspire other people and know that you guys can go farther than me. The only way to unlock the unlimited potential that's inside of all of you is to understand that you can truly be whatever you want to be and commit to being a good person and a positive person, making right decisions. As Martin Luther King Jr. once said, almost always, the creative, dedicated minority has made the world better. So it's going to take the youth in this room to transform their lives, to make this world a better place, and also to make Camden a better place. You have to believe that. And the greatest comeback stories are achieved by those who have faith, work hard, and remain humble. So go change the world, because the world needs you. It's going to start with the people in this room, with the youth who had to get back on track, who had to understand what it feels like to fail, who had to understand what it feels like to not be recognized, to not be number one. Don't let that deter you or discourage you. Let it encourage you, because you're the change that we need. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. That was a powerful speech. And I think it was not only for the youth in the room, but also for all the adults in the room to understand that failure is not permanent. And I think as we go through life, we should expect failure, but know that we can use it to really propel us to do amazing things. So thank you so much, Rashan, for coming back and for sharing your story and being committed to the city that raised you. Let's give him another round of applause. And also a person who's deeply committed to this city, and that's the reason why she isn't here today, is our mayor, Dana Rez. She works tirelessly for the city of Camden, and especially for the youth in this room, to make Camden City a better place for them and their families and for all of us. She is saddened that she couldn't be here today, but another obligation took her away. So I'm going to ask one of her staff members, Ms. Dory Brown, to come up and give a few remarks on behalf of the mayor.
Good morning, everyone. On behalf of the mayor, I'd like to congratulate all the honorees for today. This mic? Is that better? Yeah. On behalf of the mayor, I'd like to congratulate all your honorees today, and to Rashan, wonderful speech. A tough act to follow, kind of. It's a tough act to follow. The mayor is very dedicated to working with the youth and working with truancy. And trying to get our kids on the right track. There's so much talent here in the city. Rashan's story is a beautiful story, but it's not unique. It's just a story that's not told often. And we have a lot of students who have risen up from any possible failures that they had, and we have a lot of students who don't have failures and succeed. So there's a lot of untold stories here in the city, and the mission of the mayor's office is to make sure that these stories get told. And so that when these students go out in the community, they can say, I am who I am, not in spite of being from Camden, but because I'm from Camden, and stop looking at Camden as something that hinders them. So congratulations to all the honorees today. The mayor has sent commendations for all of you, and may you continue with your success.
Okay, so now we're going to move on to the award section, the section that I know everyone has been patiently waiting for today. Yay! Now you can clap it up. You can clap it up. It's very exciting. And so I'm going to start by introducing the leaders from both Woodrow Wilson and Camden High School, but I'm going to ask Camden High School to come up first. And I was like, why does Camden High School get to come up first? But that's all right. I still wear my Wilson pride on my sleeve at times. But we have 3 district graduates, Preston, Nairi, and David, were all chosen to return to their Camden City schools to support the district's efforts to dramatically reduce out-of-school time suspensions and instead provide high school students with the tough love and positive role models they need to improve their behavior and get back on track. All 3 men credit positive male role models in their school to success, and they're now providing that support to today's young people, and so those are the deans of culture at both of those schools. Also, they'll be joined by the dropout prevention officers. And so we have two fantastic dropout prevention officers here today, Tommy and Jerry. They work very hard to build relationships with the district's most at-risk youth and hard-to-reach high school students. They knock on doors, visit family members, and try every means necessary to get through to the young people on the verge of giving up on themselves and their education. These long-serving district employees represent the often unsung heroes of Camden City School District. So let's give them a round of applause before they come out. So if I can have the representatives from Camden High School, David McKee and Nairi Almaytree, and then Dropout Prevention Officer Jerry Swindle.
Okay, I guess I'll start it off. The first young person from Camden High is Antoinette Bush. Working with this young lady, along with her parent, her mom, to get her back on track was, it was challenging, but once she made up her mind to do it, it wasn't a problem. She actually comes on Saturdays to make up her days to get back on track as well. Okay, next we have Tamik Falk. Now this young man here he's getting there. By no means is he perfect, but you know how you have some students, you actually see something that they don't see in themselves yet? That's Mr. Falk. And then next, Katrina Rivera. Now, Miss Rivera is really doing well. She's actually coming to make up her time, took advantage of taking ownership of what she failed to do and is doing better. And she sees me every morning just to make sure I know she's in school. So, and also Kiera Welch. Now, Ms. Welch came to me one day and like, Mrs. Wendell, something's just not right. I need you to help me. Well, let's just say about a week or two later on, she's now a proud student at Gateway to College and actually on her way to earning college credits while finishing up her high school. All right, and we had one student, I don't think he actually made his Niquay Russell. But he's extraordinary young man as well. I do want to say that this young man, over a 3-year period, it was a gradual change from now he's a senior and he will be graduating in June. So I just wanted to let that be known.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is David McKee. I'm the Dean of Climate and Culture at Camden High School main building. The first student that I would like to recognize this afternoon is Jameer Taylor. Jameer, like many of the young men in our city, has faced many obstacles outside of school, dealing with the law and things of that nature. He's managed to overcome those things. He shows up to school every day with a bright smile on his face, and he continues to improve daily. Next, I would like to acknowledge Zamara Hill. Zamara, again, has faced many issues regarding her home and family life. She's been recently changed out of special education classes and placed in our general education because of her exceedingly incredible grades. And the last person I would like to acknowledge is Aaliyah Hill Parker. Again, Aaliyah has the same situation as Samara. She's been taken out of our special education classes and placed in general education due to her great test scores and great grades. Great job, ladies and gentlemen.
Good afternoon, I'm Harry Matry. I work at Woodrow, Camden High School. I was thinking all this Wilson, I went to Wilson. I'm the Dean of Common Culture in Camden High School, CTE building. I'm here to acknowledge the students that, my honorees. I'm gonna start with Jamar Jenkins. He's a student that came to see me almost every day, and what stood out was that he actually asked me for help, said he needed tutoring. I know that's a big step for certain students to come to ask for help. I was very proud for him, and he's been on the right track since. The next is Wanda Rivera. This is a student that I always used to see in the hallway, walking the halls. Me and her mom sat down, came up with a plan, said she was going to get back on track second Margaret period, and since then she's been in every class. The next student, Shaheen Regan. This particular student, freshman, I guess was running the halls like crazy. Him and his group of friends, me and him sat down, talked, said watch for the people he hang with. You know, I had high expectations for him because he was a leader in the group. And I believe if you're a leader, you can change your whole atmosphere and attitude of climate culture in all ways. Since we have talked, he's been back on track, been in class. I like when I do the hall sweeps and I see him sitting in class. So I'm proud of him. Another student nominee was Jasmine Wilson. Unfortunately, she couldn't make it today. I just want to acknowledge her as Jasmine Wilson.
Okay, next I want to call up from my alma mater, Woodrow Wilson High School. We're going to have the Dean of Culture, Preston Brown, and the Dropout Prevention Officer, Tommy Clark.
Good afternoon. I'm Tommy Clark, the Dropout Prevention Officer at Woodrow Wilson High School. Just like to say thank you for this opportunity to acknowledge our students.
I'm good.
Good?
I'm good. I'm never going to live this down.
First student that I'd like to acknowledge is Joanna Abreu. Joanna came to me in October. Her family had lost everything in a house fire. She wanted to leave school and get employment so she could help her mother find an apartment. So during the exit conference, I started giving her some of the alternative options. She chose the Gateway to College program. She completed the application, took the time out to be honest enough with us about the needs that her and her family had. We talked to our family operations coordinator and our school-based youth services team. They've been assisting Joanna and her family since then, and she's doing well at the Gateway program, and she'll be graduating next year, hopefully. The second student I'd like to acknowledge is Felix De Jesus. I met Felix 2 years ago. He was cut in class, he had 30 unexcused absences. We were processing him for attendance court. Felix asked for options. He chose the Camelot Accelerated program because he was 2 years behind. He got accepted in the Camelot Accelerated, and he actually graduated last Friday from Camelot. The next student I'd like to acknowledge is Tatiana Hernandez. Tatiana is a young mother. She had been processed for attendance court 2 years in a row. She came to me at the beginning of this year, stated that she would like to get back on track and finish school. She didn't want to go to Camelot Accelerated. Her brother was at Camelot. She chose instead to go to the Gateway to College program. But what made her story extraordinary is that Tatiana she had ESL and bilingual programming. So in order for her to make that transition, we needed assistance. So Carmen Rodriguez assisted us with getting an individual program developed for Tatiana so that we could actually help her make the progress that she needed. So she's currently enrolled in the Gateway program and will be graduating in June. The next student I'd like to introduce you to is Jonathan Jones. Jonathan came to Camden from Florida alone. He wanted to enroll in school and graduate. So we talked about some of the alternative options that we had. He chose Camelot Accelerated because he wanted to work, because he was unaccompanied and he had to pay rent and find somewhere to live. So he moved in with family members, applied to Camelot Accelerated, and Jonathan will be graduating in June. He graduated. Jonathan graduated in January. My last student was William Sandoval. William Sandoval is not here today. William missed the entire month of September. He had gotten a job and was working full-time, so he didn't want to finish school. So we did an exit conference, and during the exit conference, he said, if you have another option for me, I'll take it. So William applied to the Gateway to College program. And William is graduating in June also.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Preston Brown, Dean of Culture and Climate at Woodrow Wilson High School. I just got to say a couple of things really quick. This is a special moment for me. One, I'm here, Coach Clark. He was my freshman football coach at Woodrow Wilson. Sorry, I'm telling your age. Nairi and David were my high school football teammates at Woodrow Wilson. Rashan is my cousin. Miss Rodriguez was my AP biology teacher. But I say that because, we've all been invested in the young people in the community so much that, the same people who were leading the charge then, they're still here, but they can't do it forever. And one of the things I want all the young people to know is that sooner or later it's going to be your turn. Everybody gets a turn, but you have to be ready and prepared for it. So that's what we do. This is a wonderful event. Usually we always highlight students who are doing remarkable, or there are reports about students who aren't doing so well. But to show progress when you once, were considered, on the lower end is a phenomenal thing, and I just want to give everybody a round of applause for that. And the first student that I'm going to start on is Hassan Batty. Hassan is a freshman. The first month and a half of school, he was constantly in the hallways, constantly, in school suspension for like some minor infractions. But then I saw that he was an honor roll student with honor classes as a freshman, so I said, let me redirect this young man and make sure that he stays on track. So he's done a remarkable job since October, staying on honor roll as an honor roll student and staying out the hallways. I'm proud of him. And, by the time he's a senior, he should be like, one of the top 10 students graduating as a phenomenal young man. So he made great progress. The next is Carlos Guzman Acevedo. Carlos, another freshman, young man. He's a part of our ELL program. Constantly in the hallways, skipping, using the language barrier as a reason to be disengaged. I remember Carlos saying one thing in particular to me. So those of you that don't know, the dynamics at Woodrow Wilson is a lot different than they were before, in which a large population of our students don't speak much English or any at all. So Carlos has some barriers there, and he said to me, well, mister, you have to learn. So I was like, well, I said, if you go to class and you teach me, then, you know, we can learn. Like, I can learn that and I can help you maintain in school. So we've had a great relationship, had several meetings with his parents, and he's doing a remarkable job. So the last student that I want to call up is Zion Hutchison. Zion, actually, he failed the 9th grade when he was a freshman. He entered the Camelot Accelerator program. He got restored to the main building. He was initially ineligible as a sophomore to play basketball, but he worked really hard. He's a starter on our basketball team now, after previously, you know, repeating 9th grade. So he's doing a remarkable job, wonderful young man. You know, can be more than happy and proud of the accomplishments that he's made today, to this point. And there are a couple other students, I don't believe that they're not here, but we just want to make sure that we recognize them. Janasia Williams and Ashley Muse. And again, to all the people who have been nominated here today, you showed some progress, but it doesn't stop here. You must continue on and work harder than what you've done, because you had to overcome some obstacles to get where you are, but the world doesn't care. They want to see you continue to build upon that. And we'll continue to be here and support you in whatever it is that you do. Like in events like this, there's no Camden High and Wilson. It's Camden City, and it's us supporting one another. So again, I thank you, I appreciate it, and look forward to seeing you guys in the future.
That was really great, so inspiring, thank you. I just wanted to tell all of our honorees that I would like each of you to take one of the centerpieces that are on the table, and you can say Happy Valentine's to yourself, or you can give it to somebody who's special to you. And I would also suggest on your way out that you grab a sandwich or a dessert. So, Dr. Watson.
Thank you again, everybody. This has really been a remarkable day. Can we give everyone another round of applause? I hope for the students in the room who've been honored that you really realize that, again, that this is about one city, one effort to make sure that you're supported and you're surrounded by a ton of people here today, from us here at the university to the staff of your schools to those in your community who want to see you succeed and are willing to help you every step of the way. So please take advantage of that option. Again, thank you to the families who are here in the room. We know that things are hard, you know, in raising your children, and family is whatever you make it. It's your mom, it's your dad, it's your grandparents, it's your play cousins, it's whoever those people are that support you. Thank you for your efforts and not giving up. And so for the students who are here, for those who are honored, please complete the cards that you were given to let your school know what additional support can they make sure that they have for you to make sure that you stay on the right track. And there'll be district staff around to collect those and get back in touch with you. On behalf of Superintendent Rashan Prailow and all the district staff, thank you again for being here today. Thank you to our keynote speaker, Rashan. It was amazing. Thank you so much for coming back to the city. Thank you to the Rotary and all of our partners in the room. Please have some food before you go, connect with some people, and have a wonderful day.